environment, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure you have seen the impact of government even in the education in ensuring that more classrooms are built. I mean the ones that are not in good shape are being fixed and things like that. So the physical aspect of it is there, and it's a blend. This government is focusing on total development, all-round development. Okay, as we're focusing on the tangible, we're focusing on the intangible ones as well. Okay, in terms of putting in the right policy framework, it's very, very critical. People always look at the building, but they don't know that a lot of things go into it. A lot of planning, meticulous planning process goes into getting the right building come up. If not, you're going to have a building that will collapse in a matter of months, that will not stand the test of time. So you can't take away the place of planning, critical planning, strategic planning, and you can't take away the place of the right policy framework which government is doing. It is then that you begin to see the fiscal aspect, and the fiscal aspect is coming out already. And you see the IPP project is going. You talk about continuity, okay? The IPP project started under the administration of the immediate past governor, Dr. Kadfai. It's almost 90% completion rate. And when it's fully completed, which means work did not stop for a day. The immediate past administration handed over power on the 16th. By the afternoon of the 16th, Dr. Biodun, Oyebanji have started taking decisions. So there was no stopgap, really, in the sense of it. So most of those projects are on stream. If all of them are on stream.
What of the airport? Because
the airport is completed. What I've said it here the other time. What is needed in the airport are the various components that will make it work. It is like a stadium. When the government provides stadium as a facility, he is not the one that is going to go and get a team to come and use it. The stadium is there. You attract a team to come and adopt it as their home ground, and then people start fixing matches, and the football association start to fix matches there. The same thing is at airport. Okay, the airport has been done, and don't forget, in terms of air travel, it's still on federal government side. So many other components are coming in, and being an international airport, inevitably you're going to have the immigration there. You have the custom there. They have their post there. Then or some airlines will come around and take up space there, and then they have the commercial flights. Okay, so these are components that are coming on street, and we're having discussion at highest level.
I wanted to ask whether the government is
having discussion at higher level.
Okay.
About 4 weeks ago, some airlines still came around. At this one particular airline came around to have discussion. The Nigerian Air Force, the Chief of Air Force came to town last week. Many people didn't know about it because it was a quiet visit, and came to the airport because the Nigerian Air Force has a portion there that they're going to build their airport, their base, the Air Force base. The Nigerian Air Force base is coming on stream there, and that's a huge project, such that, in fact, the groundbreaking was slated for December, but for some other logistics issue regarding the Chief of Air Force, because he wanted to be physically present for the thing that he couldn't make it at that date. He came around to come and look, having an on-the-spot assessment of the land that the government of the state has allocated to them, with a view to commencing the building of that Air Force base. So we're getting 2 for the price of 1. In fact, we're getting more than 2 for the price of 1. We're having an airport, but government is coming in to partner with the state government to ensure that that airport lives up to expectation. For instance, even the Chief of Defense Staff is bringing it. I mean, the DGAV, the security device for the one for Southwest, is going to be installed in that airport. And that is huge. And we're talking about Air Force base. It has an added advantage, apart from boosting the economy, the socio-economic development of the state. It's also talking about security, because the Air Force base will come around with a full apparatus to the state. So this is the thing that we're enjoying in terms of continuity. The projects are there because the incoming government also was part and parcel of the planning and incubation of that project. Even what to do, the next stages are what we are now in terms of utilization. You know, if you talk about the car park also that's been done. If you notice that work didn't stop on it. Even this your road here.
Because I was about
the road now. Yes. You see, it's nearly completion.
I was about asking that.
So when you're talking about physical development, these are critical physical development that you can hear high mark using the language of vision, that you can really see for yourself. So the roads are coming up. The various other projects are coming up. The new one will start springing up very shortly.
Okay, the Ado-Ifaki Road. A lot of road users are so concerned about the slow pace of work. The contractor has, in the last maybe a week, has showed up and started some little, dropping of.
Mr. Governor has given instruction to all contractors to be up and doing.
Yes,
to be up and doing, and I expect all contractors handing on project to another state to be up and doing. Or else,
of particular importance, Mr. Oyebode, of particular importance is that IME Garage preach. People thought that the contractor, this is the period he could work on that very place.
Watch out for that space. I'm sure in a couple of weeks that aspect will be fixed. Because there is a machine order already given to all of them to get down and finish all those so that we can start another round of work in the state.
Okay, let's now talk about finances. Every government needs money to function, and you said the government will be rolling out a lot of projects in the next couple of weeks and months. How does it intend, that's the administration, how does it intend to fund these projects? Because we know there is cash crunch even across the world, and it is not Rivers or Lagos or all these big states that some even take oil derivation from the federal post every month. So how can we really?
Yes, we may not have oil money, but one thing I tell you, in the state, we have knowledge, and that's what my book refers to us as fountain of knowledge, land of honor. We have knowledge, we have contact, we have human capital, okay, and that's what the Mr. Governor will be drawing on, will be leveraging on our contacts, will be leveraging our development partners, will be leveraging on private partnership, investment from the private sector to come and help boost the economy. Now is the time to build a bigger economy, and that is the plan of this administration, to build a bigger economy. Empower the various strata, empower the women, empower the youth, okay, and then be able to attract more investors to come and invest directly or to come and partner with government. I've always cited the Yinka Dairy Farm as a very good example of public-private partnership in Nigeria, and I mean it's one of the best examples ever. The government of Biodun and Oyebanji is working towards achieving even many more of such partnership. I've been noticed that Kogos is now been taken over by one of our partners as well, okay, and that is taking Kogos the one spring to a higher level. It's an international hospitality company, and it's coming to, and it's partnering with there. If you went there during December, it was a beehive of activities. A lot of things were going on there. For a whole week they were streaming movies there, and they had live audience. So we are having that partnership is going there. Because coming to look cannot do. I agree with you that there's a global issue, economically speaking. This is a time for every government to wear their thinking cap, and I think in the state the government is wearing its thinking cap and leveraging on all those things, human capital development, leveraging on our contract. If you see the last 100 days, for instance, he had met with Africa Development Bank as well, the World Bank as well, the NASRA, SMIDA, and these are people that are going to bring things on the table for the state. Let me tell you this, one of the things that is not yet in the news, or maybe it was in the news and people didn't take cognizance of it, is that one of his visits, in the first 3 weeks, he visited so many parastatals of federal government, visited many institutions of government, met with various leaders across various ministries, various agencies. Now, Ado to Akure Road, federal government has re-awarded it again because of this pressure, because of this networking. It has been re-awarded. And in the list of roads that were revealed about the federal government yesterday, the state got 2 major roads that will be fixed: the Ado Akure Road and even the Ado Ijo Ilumoba Agbado Road that will be fixed by the federal government. The very interesting thing is that when you get all this federal government road fixed, when they get the attention, the state government can now concentrate on its own state roads effectively. And that is how developments can be done. In addition to that, it's that we are oiling our relationship with the development partners. We don't joke with them, because through their partnership we're able to attract support, we're able to attract investment, we're able to attract their both their technical and financial support for some of our major projects, and that is ongoing. And that the governor has been able to oil over and over with their meetings, and we have so many assurances from a good number of them to partner with us in our developmental effort this time around. Added to that are the private initiative who are coming in, because one, Ekiti State is rated high in ease of doing business. So you can come to Ekiti State, all the issues that I have in other states of registry or company or doing so many things, we don't have it here. In fact, it's on record that many of the agri giants, agricultural giants, the big names in agriculture that are partnering with us in Ekiti State, it's on record that we give them lands, even assisted them in clearing those land. Some got as much as 200, 400, 500 hectares of land, and we assisted them in clearing it. The government assisted them with security. Some of them, because of their involvement, government has had to even work on power supply for them. Take for instance the regional Koguzi corridor. The governor initiated and supported the electrical company to ensure that they are connected again. They are connected. Not necessarily because the government is from that local government, but because they needed that power supply to support our investors. Who are doing a lot in Koguzi, who are doing a lot in Arita Waterfall, because we are attracted to make that axis a tourism corridor. I mean, to boost tourism potential and inevitably also build revenue generation through that. But you have to build a bigger thing. You have to build a bigger economy. So we are attracting investors who can come and partner with us in our tourism sector to build it. And the little support we can give to them, give them road infrastructure, give them power supply as well. So government is working hand in hand with both the federal organs, federal agencies, institutions, also collaborating with the private sector to make sure that the economy is boosted. Then the IGR is also working. If you notice, one of the first meetings that Mr. Governor also had was the one he had with the MDAs, and then the one he had with revenue generating MDAs, to tell us how do we build a bigger cake. Without necessarily imposing untold hardship on the citizen. So I said is a compassionate leader. So yes, we want to be able to increase our revenue collection, but we want to do it within the ambit of the law. We want to do it with due regard to modesty and compassion. We want to do it such a way that it doesn't chase people out of the state. It doesn't make them uncomfortable to live in the state. If as a matter of fact, we want it to be number one choice for people looking for where to live, to work, and to invest. So at the end of the day, we don't want to chase them away with huge taxation. So again, we're looking for capturing more people into the tax net, but not imposing hardship on the people. So our tax collection process wears human face. So when you look at all this thing with prudent management of that scarce resources, now the government, in cooperation with the Board of Revenue, are looking at using technology to block loopholes, using technology to ensure that the taxes that are collected actually get to the base. And the responsibility of the government to ensure that when the taxes come in, do the right thing with it. And that's what we're doing. You see your taxpayers' money at work everywhere you go in the state. You see taxpayers' money at work. So that as you pay, you see what government is doing with it, you'll be encouraged to pay even more.
Let's look at the issue of welfare of the civil servants and every other Ekiti workers, and because by virtue of these 100 days, is there what's the hope of an average civil servant in Nigeria, in Ekiti State, that their welfare will continue to be given a kind of priority, especially when it comes to some of the backlogs that actually not been settled by government? In addition,
there is this carryover burden, for years talking about pension. The gratuities that have not been paid, and the workers' salaries inherited from, previous administrations, and an average worker, depends on the pay. An average pensioner, who has served, the state, the nation meritoriously for 35 years or even less than that, still expect their gratuity. An average worker expects his or her gratuity to be paid so that he could use it to maintain him or herself and sustain his
Thank you. But in Ekiti State, the issue of regular payment of worker salary is sorted.
Yes.
There's no issue around it, sorted. Okay, because the government also, being a compassionate government, or the compassionate leader, believes that every worker deserves his or her wages. So that one is sorted. Nobody touches it. What the governor has been able to do, in addition to ensure that deductions, which is also a major issue, are now paid as when due. And if you notice, the salary drops today, the next day, the next 48 hours, deduction will follow. And that is actually making life more comfortable for the workers. And the governor has also taken a bold step towards resolving the issues surrounding unpaid gratuities. You know, government is a continuum, and the previous government united from the previous government and on like that. But Governor Oyebanji wants to tackle it headlong. And during his meeting with the leadership of Nigeria Union of Pensioners at the state chapter, he tweeted them that he is ready to actually ensure that thing is sorted. And in ensuring that there at that meeting, they set up a committee to go and look at it and come up with the best option to defray this thing. And he begged them not to politicize the process, because let us admit it, sometimes government has good intention, and then sometimes the process is politicized, and then the people suffer. We made a passionate appeal to the leadership of NUP that whatever process they come up, because it's going to be a product of both your union and representative of government. Whatever you come up with, we will endorse and then we will implement. The end result is to ensure that these unpaid gratuities over the years are cleared. And the process of clearing it will also involve all of us being on the same page. And not only being on the same page, read the same book and be on the same chapter on the matter. And I think that appeal was well taken by the leadership of NUP, and the committees are already working on it. And I'm sure in a couple of weeks, you're going to get the feedback on what they have agreed as the best option towards resolving these long-standing unpaid gratuities. Within weeks, you get it, because the committees have started meeting already. That is between the leadership of NUP, the Petered office, and the representative of government.
Okay, since you speak for the government, you speak for the governor, I think this question as well, you will be able to attend to it. Yes, the governor has been running the administration, though with few...
So sorry, you talk about workers' welfare. Yeah. It's also a record that over 400 million have been released, even for housing loan and car loans. Okay. Recently, some people have been embarking on trainings. Okay. Even the state performing company is going to India to represent Nigeria. Okay. You know, cultural. Yeah. Okay. The governor still met with our athletes, and our athletes are also workers. Met with them and made some promises with them with a view to fixing their facilities and stuff like that. So it's a comprehensive package for Ekiti workers, and we're just starting with continue to make sure that salaries and minimums are paid as when due, and then ensuring that when they retire they get paid. And I think in a couple of videos will be solved, in addition to other package that will come on stream.
Okay, yes, I was asking about the small sized cabinet that is currently working with Mr. Governor. Few of you, and when an administration comes on board, a lot of people are interested in filling one position or the other, and I know Mr. Governor told them that nothing could be done until after the election. So how has the mini cabinet been able to address with Mr. Governor some of the challenges that are coming on board?
Yes, it's also about management, and it's also about leadership. So Mr. Governor takes the lead, and even the so-called small cabinet you mentioned follows. Everybody's given a task, given an assignment, and then you do it, then you report back. Like he said, Mr. Governor said, the small cabinet is to lay the foundation, and then more people will come on board. And I can tell you, people will come on board. And the process of bringing them on board has commenced, okay? So you can rest assured that people definitely come on board to also man some other strategic position. But definitely there are still more strategic positions to be manned, and then more people coming in due course to man that. But for now, the cabinet is working hand in hand with Mr. Governor, and so working with the civil service. Don't forget the civil service structure is there, and that's the engine room. So what we just have is to have some critical head to work in collaboration with the civil service to assure results. And that's the whole thing is to get results, and I'm sure the results are not in short supply.
Okay.
Let me come to the fact that in a space of 100 days, this government have actually experienced placing the women having women in some special position.
Yes.
At the point the first time we're having a female speaker, and yesterday we have a first female Auditor General of the local government. Now,
and we have a female SSG.
You have a female SSG, you have a female deputy governor.
So
you have a female
so my question actually was to be, are we now going to be saying that the government is actually fulfilling the promise of giving the women 35%?
Mr. Governor, in the presence of the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, when they met in Abuja, assured her that we're going to work towards achieving and surpassing the 35% recommendation. You see, again, this government also believes in gender equality. We think whatever a man can do, a woman can also do, if not better. And the whole idea is, we also, as we have competent men, we also have very competent women. So the other idea is that, okay, if you have competent men, let's bring them in. So that's why, if you notice, nobody gets anything just by sentiment here. Go and check the CV of those people that have been appointed. Go and check their credentials, both in the civil service and both in at the political level. Go and check their CVs. The women you mentioned, go and check their CVs. Even the men, go and check their CVs. So everybody's coming on board, armed with very intimidating credentials. And that's very key. So that's to let you know that we also have women in Ekiti who are top-notch, who can compete any of their peers, any part of the world. And that's what we're seeing. So there's no point sidelining them when they have what it takes to actually contribute to the development, to contribute to the economic development and the development of the states, and to contribute to growth. Go and check all of them that you have mentioned. So that's the target. It has given the world. We're going to exceed 35% that they are talking about. And if we're looking at even the party, at the party level, you see the party also deliberately ensure that some women will come on stream in some of the political offices that are available. But as a government, it's a deliberate policy to ensure that we attract women that are competent to be part of the administration, and they bring their motherly touch to the administration. Mothers are managers. That's very critical to note. And so they're bringing it in. And don't forget, still we have a law on equal opportunity as well. So when I talk about development in Ekiti State, development in Ekiti is built on some very profound legal and policy framework. So you have a law on gender equality, which means that provide opportunity, level playing ground for both the male and the female. That you see it translating to appointment. You see it translating to making women to man very strategic position that hitherto were thought to be of exclusive preserve of the male folk. Now, government under the leadership of Oyebanji is making sure that we leave those things. All those laws, all those policies come to physical. We practice them. We don't just make them a slogan. We demonstrate them. So we're still going to have more women man some very critical positions. Quote me.
Okay, if you just joined us, it is a special program to mark the 100 days in office of His Excellency Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, the Governor of Ekiti State, Nigeria. And our guest is the Special Advisor, Media and Strategy and Chief Press Secretary to Mr. Governor, Mr. Yinka Oyebode. This program is a simulcast on Ekiti Television and Ekiti FM 91.5. Yes, Mr. Oyebode, you've talked on a lot of, issues. Yes, the potholes, the failed portions on the, intra-city roads in the state capital at Ekiti has been ongoing for a while and is still ongoing. And the rains will soon set in, and we know that road construction can be done mostly, during the dry season. What efforts is the administration, though you said he has given a marching order, but to ensuring that particularly the city roads are tackled without delay, We still have some other areas that have not been touched, and those being touched, we've had situations where the potholes are dug and left for like 2-3 days, and this has also, affected a lot of vehicles, tires, got burst and all of that. So what is the government doing to ensure that these potholes are, handled without delay? And another one that is very, very important is the Ado-Ilawo Road. During the last administration, there was a failed portion, that the portion that caved in, and there is this palliative measure that have been put in place, but the place is very terrible as we speak. So what is government doing about this?
Okay, let me first start with the township road that you mentioned. Without trying to make excuses for some of these contractors, let me also say that they are human beings, and human factors sometimes come to play. Sometimes matching fails and things like that. And that is why Mr. Governor has given that matching order. And he's just giving matching order, he's matching it with his own physical presence on site.
Okay.
At very hot hours, you see Mr. Governor paying unscheduled visits to some of these locations to look at them and to ensure that quality work is being done. The only essence of it is to get that we do quality work, which is the signature of Mr. Governor. It stands for quality. So it goes around and also sends officials around ahead. We have officials that even monitor these processes. We have officials that monitor to ensure compliance with standards. And Mr. Governor, as number one citizens, goes around, sometimes even unknown to the environment, sneaks in and then look at it, and then the contractor is summoned to the office the next day and is told what to do. Or right there. I recall last week, Mr. Governor went on inspection at Okibola area to look at the road. And because he was physically there, at a point, it walked around the entire process and checking the quality of the asphalt that's been laid. And then when he realized, okay, the asphalt lay stops at this portion, and he asked the question, so what happened to that other street? He said it wasn't part of it. He said, okay, right there, he told the contractor to extend the work there. So that is the essence of thorough supervision. And through thorough supervision and knowing the fact that Mr. Governor is a man of quality, I am convinced that quality work will be done and done faster, because it's also on their neck and has given the margin that everybody should be on site and make sure you work within the deadline given to you, so that we can also do more. And I think these contractors are also trying their best, because all of them also know that until you finish what you're doing, you're not likely to get another one.
Okay.
And if you don't do what you're doing very well, you're not likely to get another one under this administration. So they are doing their best to ensure that they put in their best in terms of quality work. And let me tell you something. One other thing that Mr. Governor also ensured that he made it compulsory for them to employ the locals. In some other places that we go, we ask them, even as the workers there, you are from where? And they tell you what they say. When he heard that they are from the Ekiti people, he is happy, because he also think that's the only way we can also empower people, and also work about transferring expertise to them. Somebody is a laborer in a road construction firm today, tomorrow can be an officer, tomorrow can even be a contractor, because he will learn through the process. And that's part of the thing, that's part of the idea of also developing our people and to ensure growth in terms of economic development. So get your people to be employed through these contracting firms. And infrastructure is one of the areas to build the economy. Actually, you spend on infrastructure when you're building a road. Look at the companies that come to it. You're going to buy roads, you're going to buy cement, you're going to buy sand, you're going to buy water, you're going to employ people to drive this and that, and so on. So it's a lot of components, and they make sure that some of those things are sourced locally, and then your manpower, your workforce is sourced locally as well. So more people, except people that are lazy, you also get something to do on this construction site that are going on. But the focus is on service, is excellent service delivery. The focus is quality work, and the focus is that we are not going to give a contractor a job to do and go to sleep. We are going to do work together, and you encourage the citizens also to own the process. And I'm happy in some of the places that we went, we see the people coming around, even to supervise the contractor and to report that this contractor, we told him this and this one. So there's a particular street we went to visit the road there, and the surprisingly women, and they drew their attention that this road is smooth, it's becoming quite very good. Now Okada are overspeeding there. Can you help us put speed breakers? So which means the people already owning the president, and that's to the delight of Mr. Governor, because that's what he wanted. I've been issued that. Okay, the government will do this thing, but we want the people to also work towards achieving it. The supervision is also part of your work. It's also part of your duty, because at the end of the day, you are the end users. So now people come now to say, okay, we want this road to have a speed breaker, or we have told the contractor to put speed limit and some other thing. That shows that they are interested. And the focus of the action is to do development with the people. Not for the people. Doing it with the people. Okay. Let them own the process. Let them be part of the process. And that is the essence of what we're doing tomorrow. Stakeholders engagement. How do you own this process? How do you even own this government? Because it's your government.
You will still talk about that.
You voted in this government, gave you a mandate of 4 years. How do you own the process? These are the things we'll be talking about on Friday. Mr. Governor will be laying bare on the table, and people will be making their contributions to it.
Ilawe,
the Ilawe road is a major issue. A lot of people think Ilawe road it just happened. It didn't just happen, and that's where the idea of fixing it is taking some a long time because of the technical issues involved. It's a geological issue. A lot of people didn't know that. If you fix that road today, that thing can still happen tomorrow because it's a geological issue. So the geological
meteorological and geological
they are working on it, and they're taking a lot of sample and doing a lot of things. They are the ones that will advise the best way to do that thing. If not, and then the government shouldn't be in a hurry to just go and cover the place and just lay asphalt. They want to know the outcome of that geological issue. What are the immediate and remote causes? And then how do we get a lasting solution towards achieving that? It is then that government will know what to do. However, the alternative route has been made. We note it, and I'm sure something will be done about that to make sure at least while this one is being worked upon in terms of technical details, then alternative route is made quite material.
Okay, for the yes, there is this issue that has become attached to our political activities. That's street credibility. A leader is expected to be able to interact with the people, go out and meet with them without running away or hiding in dark tinted vehicles. Yes, we've seen BAO doing that during his visits to the roads and all of that. Yes, and what other engagements are you thinking of that can really ensure that there is no gap between the government the government and the people? When the government is too far from the people, then rumors and unfounded claims will come up. So what feedback mechanism are you putting in place to ensure this? And how frequent, or will there be sustainability in the street credibility of Mr. Governor?
Thank you very much. Let me put it on record there. The Mr. Governor's street credibility, or whatever you call it, it's not a product of showmanship. That is who he is. He is very real. Talking about Governor Biodun Oyebanji, very real, very down to heart, and he's a lover of people. So when you see him on the street, he didn't go there so that he can shake hands with the people. He's there because he feels important to identify with them, to demystify governance. A lot of people have a lot of myths are built around governance and around government. His intention is to demystify it. At the end of the day, a government is still a human being. So that's what he wants to achieve. That look, fine, I'm your governor, but you put me there, I'm just one of you whom you have elected to lead. And that's why he felt sometimes let's go to a particular street and let's go and look at what is happening there. Because again, the number one responsibility of the government is the security and the well-being of the people. And how do you determine the security and the well-being of the people if you yourself do not come to their level? And that's why, and it is that brings us to the level of, okay, today we're passing through this road, let us even check what is happening in this road. And quietly, Mr. Governor, if you don't know, has been visiting even local government. Now, when he visits a local government, he will not visit with the mindset of punishing latecomers or anybody. He's visiting with the mindset of knowing that, okay, I'm aware you are here, I'm aware this is your office, So, what are the things that are missing here? What are the infrastructure, the facilities that are not here? Please note it. And it gets an official to note that. And then we leave. Even though we ask, where are the workers here? Of course, usually, sometimes this person has gone to this one has gone on break. And
to the bank and all of
but
that.
you know what? I've been able to demonstrate to them that I can come here anytime. I can come back here anytime. However, okay, you don't have this, you don't have this. Okay, note it down. Mr. Sharma, come around next week and discuss it. So it is bringing governance closer to the people in a very intentional manner. It's okay. Now, not everybody will drive down and come to the governor's office. Not everybody will drive down and go to Okayoba. Sure. But Okayoba can come down to your locality, can come down to your street, to where you are playing your football, to where you are roasting your corn, to where you are peeling your cassava and things like that. So sometimes let us go and look at what is going on in Okebola. Let's go and look at what's going on in Odoado. Let's go and look at what's going on in a region. Let's go and look at what's going on in Aramoko or in Umu. Then you see a lot of things happening. That is the love he has for the people. He's connected. And he's a very very simple man. If you don't know it today, that Mr. Governor is still using the vehicles that he used as SSG. That's what he's still using till now. So it's easier for him to say, okay, let's go to that street. Quietly, without blind siren, without an area of security, let's play with them. And because he's a man of the people, he's not afraid to blend and mingle with them. And because the people truly love him, when they see him, they embrace him and they tell him what they want. They tell him what he should know. They tell him this is our hopes and our aspiration and this is what we aspire to do. And he has made a lot of avenues to listen to them, a lot of avenues to even talk to them, to engage them. And if you see some of those things when he's on the street, he can listen to a 10-year-old the same way we listen to a 100-year-old woman, because of the love that he has for the people. So every of his action is being driven by the love for the people and the compassion for them that he has for them. And the fact that he knows that he's been elected there is by grace of God. And God has put him there at this point in time to lead his people. And he knows that he's accountable both to the people and to God. So the fear of God is there. And the love of the people is there. So everything is done is motivated by that. So it's not a popularity contest of anything. It's just being real, down to her. And that's what he does.
Feedback mechanism, apart from this?
That is one of the most fantastic feedback mechanisms you can ever think about, because you're hearing it directly. You're not hearing it through a third party. But there are several other third party arrangements that are put in place. There are a lot of people, because Mr. Governor, as I talk to you now, he still maintains telephone lines. The one he was using when he had not become SSG was the same one he used when he was SSG, and the same line that he's using now. Somebody called me recently and said, please give me Mr. Governor's second line. I said, he doesn't have a second line. He doesn't. And I can tell you, he's one governor that if you send him a SMS now, you will get a response. Just send him an SMS. You may try to send an SMS and ask a few things, you will get a response. Not a third party response. He will take his time to reply your SMS.
And not that his aide would reply the person.
It's aide too, because that's also online.
So it
is when you have 2 or 3 lines that can give one to an aide. When you are using one line, one telephone is in your hand. So the only thing that you can't take a call, later in the evening when you have the time, you can respond. It's one call that responds. And I think it is that ability to respond to the people, to connect with the people, that actually gave you the edge. Both at the party's primary and even at the election. The general, the people seem that this is one of us. This is one of us. And that's why they call him Tiwantiwa.
I was about to ask him about that.
That's what brought about Tiwantiwa. This is one of us. This is real. This is authentic. This is genuine.
How has that impacted on his administration? The issue
that has given me a huge sense of responsibility.
Okay.
Because you know that the public expectation is huge. And he said something during the electioneering. He said, if you give me this opportunity to lead, it will open doors for ordinary folks like me to aspire to be anything. So everybody knows now that with the right attitude, with the right education, you can become whatever God wants you to become. Everybody knows that with the right character and with competence and being able to connect with the people, you can achieve a lot. Even as a governor or as a leader at various levels, you still have to connect with the people, and that's what Mr. Governor is teaching us now. You have to connect with the people. You have to show empathy. In as much as you are demonstrating your competence to mount that position you have, you also have to demonstrate compassion for the people, because they are the reason for which you are there in the first instance. So you don't get there and disconnect from them. And that's what the government is trying to do. So the feedback mechanism is there. There are various processes that are put in place. Very soon, Mr. Governor will resume his monthly meet your governor. And that's another way of governance. And beyond what is done on Meet Your Governor that people watch or listen to at home, you know, there's also a critical feedback mechanism, because people keep sending SMS messages through those lines, and on a daily basis there are people in governance that bring out those telephone lines and transcribe those messages, and you see people getting responses through one way or the other. Let me give you a practical one. Last week, Mr. Governor went to inspect the agricultural market. The government has been making concerted effort over the years to get traders to actually come back to that market. And when he got there, he saw some young guys who have taken shops there. He was really impressed that, okay, while other people are shying away from this market, you have taken the bull by the horn by coming around there. He said, you guys deserve some encouragement. And then he get their names down. And I'm aware, as at yesterday, he has reached out to them. That, okay, for you, for listening to government and for taking heed to the directive to come and take shops instead of you doing roadside trading, kudos to you. I'm going to encourage your business. And let's make do that promise quietly. So these are some of the feedbacks he gets, and then because it connects with the leadership of the church, the leadership of the Muslim community, they have his ears. The traditional ruler, they have his ears. He can listen to them and they listen. And fundamentally because it's been part of the process. You know, he was part of the committee that fought for the creation of the state. So as a young man then, as a young lecturer then, he's been mixing and mingling with the leaders, the traditional rulers. So you understand what is the concern of an average person. You understand the concern of an average community. You understand the concern of an average folks, because he's an ordinary folks that God has given the grace to rise to the pinnacle of his political career. And so he understands the place of grace, he understands the place of service, and the place of his commitment to the thing that he has said he was going to do. And that's what we're doing.
Okay, so interesting, because
I actually want us to. I know the government may not really have much to do about it. That has to do with this issue of fuel scarcity that we are experiencing. I know the government actually raised a committee to actually look at all this issue. I just want to know what's the latest from the committee. What was their performance as of today? Okay,
well, I can't. I'm not the chair of the committee, but let me tell you something. We have that committee to thank, and we have Mr. Governor to thank for setting up that committee, and we have that committee to thank for the fact that we see are able to get by with Biodun product in the states, because it's a huge issue. But the committee has also assisted one way or the other to ensure that it's those who get the products sell on time. Again, it is not limited to Ekiti State. Sure. I was in Lagos last week and I saw what's happening, and I passed through 2 or 3 other states in the course of my work last week, and I noted it's a big issue. However, government is tackling it and ensuring that at least the little that comes to Ekiti State spreads and that people actually sell, and you have to give kudos to that committee. If not, it's also easy for people to just take the product and hold it.
Divert it.
But because they also know that there's a committee that is monitoring their activities, okay, and that committee is also trying to help them manage the issue of pricing, even though there's a little challenge in there, because even outside the state, even those who are closer to the ports, the prices are not the same there. So it's a difficult one, but I know we should also thank the committee and just Mr. Governor for the efforts being put in place. If not, it would have gone worse than this.
Okay, because of our time, let's allow you to talk about what is going to happen tomorrow as regards the program being put in place for the 100 days in office of Mr. Governor.
Like I said, 100 days is just to say, okay, here we are, first 100 days, let us meet and discuss. And Mr. Governor will just lay it there on the table. This is what we have been able to do with their money. And these are the policies we have put in place to ensure we build a bigger and a more enduring economy. And this is where the citizens should get involved. And this is our expectation from the citizen. So it's a meeting of minds. We call it stakeholders engagement. Who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are critical elements in the society. We could have the representative of the market women, of the civil service, of the public, of the NGOs, of the security, of the institutions, artisans, traders, all kinds of people coming together, and various unions as well will come around. So let us put it on the table. But sometimes people have very unrealistic expectation about government and governance, and you can't blame them. It's about what you don't know. You can't blame them for what you don't know. So government, Mr. Government is coming to put it on the table. This is what is happening in the last 100 days, so that you know that government didn't just go to bed and sleep. This is the efforts we have put in place. These are the results, both the tangible and intangible ones. And then the next couple of months, these are the things we intend to do in terms of the short term, medium term, and the long term. And that's what we want to put on the table. No fanfare like that. It's also to talk to ourselves so that people can also hold the process and buy. We need the binding of the people, because government alone cannot do it alone. We need the cooperation of the people. And you've seen that happening. You've seen even individuals now donating things, coming in to see how they can support government. We need more support, even from our well-to-do citizens. So a lot of things are put in place, even in terms of security. What we have been able to do in the area of security, and if you can give to this government that security has improved considerably in the last 100 days because of so many efforts that are going on the ground. Security is not something you come on TV to discuss, but I can tell you that a lot is going on the ground, and that is giving investors confidence in coming to Ekiti in relation to other states. Apart from that, you get your business done easily. You have government backing in terms of institutional backing of government, and security is there. The road is being filled. So we're getting more and more confident from the investors who are ready to come and do business there. And then the results will be there. And prosperity, that is our desire, Mr. Governor, the state will feel that prosperity, and they will experience that prosperity.
Okay, in the last 100 days, let me ask about this. Is the governor ever distracted, maybe due to litigation or any other factor?
Never.
Okay.
Never. He's a well-built man. And he understands one thing, that this government was ordained by God and supported by the people. He's a man of the people, so the people put him there, and they're going to support him all the way. And you understand the fact that, and everybody understands this fact that the election of Mr. Goro was one of the most transparent, one of the most credible in the annals of history of election in Nigeria. So there's nothing to fear. There's absolutely nothing to fear. The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So there's nothing to fear. And if you look at all the litigation, all the court cases where, I hope this is not subject to this, if you look at it, there's no serious basis. And that's why when they get to court, they close out a pack of cards. So he's never distracted for, because we have looked at it. There was it was flawless. A lot of, even INEC deployed technology to ensure the election was foolproof, and the people were there. You were journalists who participated in the electoral process and so whatever. So he's never distracted, and before he knows that this is the people's government and he's doing the right thing by the grace of God, so he's confident. Okay,
we hope to do a recap of what will happen tomorrow on Monday,
by God's grace.
Yes, on a special program like this as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Yinka Oyebode is the special advisor and on media and strategy, and Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji. Thank you for your time on this program.
Thank you for having me.
We wish you more successes.
Thank you.
All right, this is going to be the end of the program for this morning. Tosin.
We want to say very thank you for being part of the program, and wish you the best in the coming months. And we also believe that the stakeholders meeting is going to be that quarterly, yearly, or monthly.
It will be a continuous process.
Yeah, continuous. Thank you so much. My name is Tosin. Have a good morning.
Okay, and I am Tunji Sadio. Thank you for being part of the program. Good morning.